Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's officially the Get the Cobwebs Out edition of Into the Night business hours, 4 to 6. Typically, we're you 6 to 8. Not today. 4 to 6, and we're going to have a big time alongside Hayes Carline and JJ LaSelva. I am the truth teller, Rick Ballou. I just got to beat it out of me. Way too many cocktails yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling it a little bit this afternoon.
That's fine. During the break, I'll run you. We'll run that poison out of you.
Up and down the hallways here. I got to get my 10,000 steps in today.
Again.
Hayes. Yes. Again. Not tonight. I'm so damn tired of hearing about those Russians.
That's
Not
right.
tonight. We skate with them.
Yep.
Good Christmas?
Yeah, absolutely. How was yours?
Oh, outstanding.
Good.
It was great.
JJ,
you have some fun?
Phenomenal, as always. Made it back to Ocala. I got a pasta maker.
Ooh.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to that.
What a present.
Yeah, I'll bring it in.
How does that
I'll
work?
bring pasta in. Well, I mean, like, usually I do it by hand. It takes forever. But
Pasta
this,
by
you
hand?
kind of just, like, put it in a machine and kind of...
Another layer of the onion reveal from JJ LaSalva.
I always stuff
I'm a chef, bro.
the
Wow,
pasta
that's
in
impressive.
the big pot, and just let it.
I can't
Come
even
to.
make SpaghettiOs. let
That's
alone-
exactly how it's made.
I
Right?
can't even tie shoes. I got the new shoes now. You just step into them.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have
great.
to tie them anymore.
Oh, look at these.
My
Yeah,
golf
same thing.
shoes,
Yeah.
new kicks, got a couple of golf belts, so I got to play golf.
I'm done with shoelaces forever.
Yeah.
That's a very old thing
I'm off
or a
of
young
shoelaces.
person. Like, you're
Not
either
for
like
us.
an infant or a very old person.
Not for us, man.
You
For us,
can-
it's all new.
You could make the case for me either way on that one, really.
Yeah.
But, shoelaces are for suckers.
Bitterly cold yesterday playing golf. Just brutal.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I
that
got to
must
tell you
have
what.
been.
I need to make
It's
an
been
admission.
dreary.
Duval, I love, but if this weather keeps up, I may have to consider moving to Florida.
Yeah, it's been
Okay.
really, really dreary.
What's going on?
I don't know. I guess maybe
Looks like
tomorrow's
London
supposed to be
outside.
nice. I
Looks
know.
like Chicago, for crying out loud.
It's depressing, but
the
at
game
least it's not
Sunday is
cold.
supposed to be a bunch of rain too, which I mean that might damper the sellout crowd you were expecting.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any more good seats available for this one. I mean, the hype of this Mac Jones,
Yeah.
Mason
Rudolph.
Hey,
Yeah.
Mason Rudolph, Mac
yeah.
Jones, thriller.
Heck of a pep rally last night at the Landing. They've 40,000 people strong.
I was there, hanging out at Hooters at the
it
Landing
was
last night. It was a great time on a Thursday night.
Checking tickets right now. You can get them for $22 actually.
Really?
$22.
$22 for a ticket?
This is the NFL, right?
Yeah.
Hey, there's a lot of sidebar stories. The return of Calvin Wrigley.
That's right.
Okay, and I know the price of admission is set with Mason Rudolph and Mac Jones, but how about a Cole Van Lannon Arden Key
Yeah. That's
grudge
big.
match?
Yeah.
Okay, don't
absolutely.
leave and go get a beer or a hot dog or anything like that when Arden Key's coming off the edge.
And the next Travis Kelce Chigaquanko
Okay,
is heating up.
right.
Had a bunch of catches.
You know
this
who's having a
last
good
week.
year over there is Jarvis Brownlee.
Yeah.
Most remembered for giving up the touchdown pass to Jacksonville State when they beat Florida State 4 years ago.
Wow.
He then transferred to Louisville, but he was the guy on the receiving end of a non-prevent defense by the former defensive coordinator at FSU, Adam Fuller.
I still remember that call. It's Deckerhoff at the time. It must have been his last year. And was it William Floyd? Was his?
Yeah.
Okay. And William Floyd gets so despondent on the call. He's like, I just told you. Like he's yelling at, I just told you. And then you can hear him slam his headset down. And Deckerhoff, who's obviously seen it all, just laughs.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. And I was in a bar. It was either in Houston or Dallas. The Jaguars had a game the next day. And it was a very well represented Duval bar, whichever city I was in Texas. And I was watching it with my girlfriend's son and his wife. And that happened. And it was just a shock. And it was like a delayed shock. But I noticed that of the Jaguar fans that were there, the majority of them were non-Florida State fans, whether they were Gator fans or whatever. But the bar went absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
I started throwing chairs and flipping glass. I was looking for someone.
Well, that's got to be in terms of stunning last-second defeats for Florida State. I mean, that's got to be very high up on. It's one thing to miss a field that happens, but to give up whatever it was, a 60, 70-yard Hail Mary to a cupcake school on the final play of the game. I mean,
it's right up there with not taking the knee for Miami against Georgia Tech last year.
I'm trying to think. I guess
it's an unforgivable mistake.
Absolutely.
It didn't happen on the final play, but throwing the shoe for Florida LSU.
The LSU game with Brad Johnson's son, right?
Because they win the game.
True freshman.
If they don't get that penalty there.
Everyone's had them.
Yeah. But
I'm rewatching it, and I forgot that the Florida State safety still had a very good opportunity to tackle him around the 10, and he just totally whiffed. Oh my God!
But how can you not be in a prevent defense for that?
Yeah.
It's just absolutely unmistakable.
Yeah.
What an egregious mistake. So it's a good one by Florida, the throwing of the shoe. And obviously Miami last year by not taking the knees. And then, you go back to that Florida State game there.
To Auburn on a Hail Mary. It might have been the year they lost to the Noles in the title game, but Nick Marshall hit a 70-yard Hail Mary. It actually got deflected.
Right.
At the 20. Mm-hmm. And the Auburn guy got it and then ran into the end zone.
Remember the Kentucky LSU game?
Oh, yes.
I remember that one as well.
They had given him a Gatorade
Kentucky
bath.
had rushed the field,
They had Guy Morris had gotten the Gatorade bath, the Kentucky coach, and Les Miles, one of his many rabbits out of a hat.
Yep.
If you're a sports fan long enough, particularly in college football, you're going to have a loss that just you'll never get over. I mean, I'm not even talking about you lose a big game. Obviously, those are very hard to get over. But just how did you let that happen kind of game? Florida, I remember one year, this was in the Spurrier era, kind of towards the latter part of it. They were playing Alabama in the Swamp, had a lead. Alabama is punting. Literally, it was everybody saying, just don't touch the ball.
Oh, yeah.
Do not field the ball. Daryl Jackson, who was a great player.
Healy Young lettered it.
Yeah, just lets it go right through his hands. Alabama gets the ball. Sean Alexander touchdown. Florida loses the game. A game that they had no business losing. So again, if you're a fan, you're gonna get your heart ripped out here and there.
The big news in town, and of course the setting is Sunday at 1, as the Tennessee Titans are favored by 1 point. The total 39.5. Remember when they did it about 3 weeks or so, maybe a month ago, it was a 10-6 thriller by the Jaguars, and it was a totally different feeling then for most. You wanted to win that game. You wanted to knock off a rival, defeat Tennessee on the road. That's really changed. And I find that the people that we are in contact with, the mind has been made up. It has been set. You want to lose this game to improve your draft positioning. But I'll tell you what, we were there a couple of weeks ago against the New York Jets, and when you got to that fourth quarter, the crowd didn't act like they were wanting a better draft pick. The crowd that was actually at the game was, without any question, cheering late, trying to find a way to beat the New York Jets.
Yeah, this fan base has some incredible fans. And even I don't think if you're rooting for them now to lose, you're a bad fan. I think you're a realistic fan. But the ultimate fan is the fan that just always wants to win. There's never an occasion where they're going to go to the stadium. And I will say this, if you're going to go attend a game, you're probably going to pull for your team to win.
Sure.
And so I don't know how many people will be there on Sunday, but the ones that are, take a bow, because you are true blue, pure, pristine Jaguar fans.
Or you got some Christmas gifts.
Right. Well, good point. But yeah, I mean, I always want the Jaguars to do well. I'd love for one day for us to be talking about where's the parade route going to go as they bring home the Lombardi for the first time.
Right.
But at this stage,
got to go down Phillips, man. You go down 90, go over the Main Street Bridge, forget about 95. I want to go down Phillips.
Sure, absolutely.
That's historic for me.
Yeah. Why would that be historic?
We can get cocktails there.
Landmarks there. Yeah.
We can get cocktails at the old Gator Lounge.
Oh, that's right.
Get a cocktail at the Centerfold.
Mm-hmm. Good prices.
Get a cocktail. There's a couple of gas stations.
That's right.
Right? So, I mean, you got to keep everyone, hydrated.
Absolutely.
For this. This party's coming, Hayes.
That's right.
Are you and I going to be alive for it?
I don't know. I'm starting to lose. I always thought I would be alive for it, but now I'm starting to wonder if I will not be alive for it.
Would you just take one? Would you take
Absolutely.
one in the, let's say, the 15 to 20-year career of Trevor Lawrence? Favre only got one. Rodgers only got one.
Only take one.
You have to. I mean, I think, thinking it's unrealistic to say you're going to get, 3, 4.
No.
Even though quarterbacks have done that.
I'll be honest. I think at this point you'd be fortunate to get one with Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
that's waned a little bit in my opinion compared to 2 years ago. I've lost confidence in each year. And what I really want to get into with you guys today after our first break is it just feels like more and more attention is on Ben Johnson and the Chicago Bears, right? I still think that Jacksonville is the better job than Chicago for a number of reasons. I think Lawrence can be the better quarterback than Caleb Williams if he has the right coach and personnel to work with. And also, I don't think the pressure to win here in Jacksonville is nothing like what it is in Chicago. Chicago's a great sports town, but it's a Bears town.
I couldn't agree with you more on this one. This one is, I think it's only because Chicago is open, is why you're seeing some linking of Ben Johnson to Chicago. It doesn't make any sense for Ben Johnson to go there. Why would you want to willingly go into a division? You already know what the Lions are. You know firsthand how good they are, and they're still going to be good. I think Ben Johnson's a really talented offensive coordinator and certainly has the makings of potentially being a very good head coach. But Detroit's going to be fine when Ben Johnson moves on. I mean, they've got so much talent. They've done such an incredible job building that side of the ball up that, I mean, they may go from like top 2 in the league on offense to 6th. There may be a little bit of a fall off, but they're not going to, barring like a year where everybody gets hurt, they're going to be fine. So you've got Detroit, you've got the Vikings, you've got the Packers, who just, it almost seems like it's Green Bay's birthright that they've got to win 12 games now every year, no matter who leaves or who gets old. Or I mean, it's so I don't know why you would embark on that if you were Ben Johnson when look over to the AFC South.
Weak.
I mean, it is pathetic. Houston has been smoke and mirrors all season.
Really disappointing.
And now you're really starting to see it put more into the public eye because they've been on national TV more. But I mean, they're 5-6 outside of the division, so they're a subpar team, but they're the best of a group of bad teams. And so, you just certainly don't fear Houston, you don't fear Indianapolis, and you don't fear Tennessee. So, again, I think if you're Ben Johnson, unless you just have some personal hang-up with, and I don't know why you would, with Shad Khan, and again, I'm sure Ben Johnson's camp's waiting for, the clean sweep to be official. He's probably like, look, don't even call me unless the GM is changed out as well. But and so again, I think once Shad cleans house, which I still think he will, I think there's going to be plenty of time to go and lure Ben Johnson. The Jaguars' job is far better than the Chicago job. The other thing you have to think about if you're Ben Johnson, you're an offensive guy. Think of the weather you got to deal with in Chicago.
No doubt.
You don't have that here. So I do think all that stuff has to enter your mind. And I agree with you. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, he certainly hasn't lived up to what we thought he might be, but he's still a talented player. He works hard. He needs help with his instincts. That's got to be coached better with whoever is running the show here next. But Trevor is, yes, he's a work in progress, but he's still a good piece of clay. Caleb Williams, I think, certainly can, obviously physically. He made a couple throws yesterday that were number 1 pick throws. But I do think you have to worry a little bit about the mentality with Caleb Williams, whereas I don't think you have that with Trevor. I think that's also something you have to weigh. And anyway, so to me, there's no excuses. If the Jaguars move on from Doug Peterson and Trent Baalke, and I have no reason to think that they will not, this search is a failure if they do not go get Ben Johnson.
Yeah, and he's the number one candidate, and he's the one that we believe they would certainly covet. But if it is Chicago, what direction does Jacksonville go? A couple of names have popped up that are some new names over the last couple of days. So let's get to that on the other side and also talk about the health of this Jaguar football team. You wanted Dewey, you're going to get Dewey. Darnell Savage.
He's a captain this week.
Is out with a concussion. He was the highest-ranked player according to Pro Football Focus, and who could argue with them?
Yeah. You want to be a captain, just, rip the staff.
Let's do it.
You'll be a captain.
Darnell Savage out, so Dewey's going to get plenty of burn. Unfortunately, I hate it for Ventrell Miller. There's another guy I want to see get as many snaps as he can. He's not going to be able to give it a go, and we know that earlier in the week it was already discussed that Walker Little is out with that high ankle sprain. So, again, it's Cole Van Lanen. And today, Doug Peterson with a lot of good things to say about Van Lanen. We'll have to check time. We may get to that a little bit later on in the program. All right, I do want to let you know that comments are brought to you each and every start of the show by the good folks over at Shmunez Vision, where right now they are introducing Dr. John Hunt. Welcome to the family. Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez. Dr. John Hunt, he is a general ophthalmologist, okay? He has specialty interests in all sorts of functional and cosmetic eyelid surgery, okay? Certainly cataract surgery, laser eye surgery. You should never go through another day of not having your eyes set. 20/20 vision, absolutely. If it's more significant than that and perhaps even dangerous, again, plenty of experience when it comes to cataract surgery as well. Just check them out online. Wonderful website. Go to Shmunez Vision. Also, plenty of testimonials available for you on Instagram at Shmunez Vision. All right, it's our Getaway Friday. Next time we'll see you will be Sunday at the bank. Jaguars and Titans will have all the pregame, in-game, and postgame for you right here on 1010 on the AM and 92.5 on the FM. If you'd like to get involved in the conversation, the best way to reach us is the text line. That's 641-1010. It's brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures alongside Hayes Carline and JJ LaSelva. I'm Rick Ballou. It's great to have you with us.
He's a true American underdog.
I fought for my spot, and I know what it takes to make a championship run. I'm Tom McManus. Join me for stories and insight on Jaguars Today.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Windows and Doors. Fridays on 1010XL.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make, and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is, and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
Hey, poker fans! The Best Bet Winter Open Series returns to Best Bet Jacksonville from January 23rd to February 2nd. Satellites into the $1,500 main event kick off January 4th. Take your shot at big payouts with 8 action-packed events and $500,000 in guarantees. Visit bestbetjacks.com for more details. That's bestbetjacks.com. And we'll see you at the Winter Open starting January 23rd.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, a professional stamp licker from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Martin Celery.
Oh, gosh. I can't wait to play, Bob.
Well, let's move things along. Tell him what he's won, Johnny.
Wait, but
That's right, Marty. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we've stocked up on the remaining inventory of low-cost 2024 model air conditioners. So you win. We're passing the savings on to you.
Can I answer a question first?
We need to make room for the 25s, so we're offering great deals on AC replacements while supplies last.
Could I spin the wheel at least? I've been practicing for a year.
With last-minute deals like this, there's no question that you are cool.
What do I tell my kids?
There you go. Have a souvenir T-shirt.
Thanks.
Stay cooler with Bueller. Visit BuellerAir.com.
For 79 years, each Gator Bowl game wrote a chapter in a story filled with excitement, celebrity, and a touch of drama. The game has seen iconic coaches like Bear Bryant, Vince Dooley, and of course, Bobby Bowden. Football stars like Larry Zonka, Archie and Peyton Manning, and Michael Vick. The 80th chapter features Duke and number 14 Ole Miss. Thursday, January 2nd in primetime on Bill Gay Grounds at Everbank Stadium. Tickets on sale now at TaxSlayerGatorBowl.com.
This holiday season, give your home the gift that keeps on giving. Beautiful, energy-efficient windows and doors from Renewal by Andersen. With our exclusive Fibrix material, you'll enjoy windows that keep the cold out and the warmth in, perfect for those cozy nights by the fire. Limited time offer. Call today. Buy one, get one 40% off windows and doors. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com. Restrictions apply. License number CGC 1527613.
Share your voice anytime on the 1010XL text line.
Are you serious?
Installed by Lifetime Flooring.
I gotta say, you're totally blowing my mind right now.
If you can't call or email, text us 641-1010.
Pick it here for About 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of Bowden Eye. Visit Bowden Eye & Associates today and experience the difference. Bowden Eye & Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. The newest mystery boxes from Fanatics have been a hit with WWE Under Wraps. Each box contains one authentic WWE walkout t-shirt signed by some of the biggest names in WWE. It's Showtime, Sports Cards and Collectibles. Update your collection.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Not many of you enjoying another day off, well-deserved. Hopefully you're having a good one. Again, plenty of football coming up today, tomorrow, NFL and college, and then, of course, Sunday, the rest of the slate in the NFL, and that does include your Jaguars taking on the Titans, a couple of 3-12 teams, and they'll have at it at 1 o'clock on Sunday. All right, Hayes Carline is here. J.J. LaSelva is here. My name is Rick Ballou. Let's throw out a couple of names here. Let's just hypothetically say that Johnson is hired by the Chicago Bears. What's next for the Jacksonville Jaguars? A name that I've seen a couple of places, including on ESPN the last 48 hours, Pete Carroll. What does that do for you?
Not much. And I really admire Pete Carroll and the career that he's had. But to me, it would have to be like a plan D option just for where this franchise is. Again, do we want to hire somebody who you're probably looking at 3-4 years? Mm-hmm. If you were going to go that route, just call Belichick.
Yeah.
Belichick will leave North Carolina tomorrow if he gets an NFL offer. So to me, it's not the route I would go.
Neither would I.
And it's not. To me, it needs to be an offensive. It either needs to be an offensive hire or it needs to be somebody who can grow with Trevor over the next 10, 15 years as a defensive-minded head coach that hopefully can be good at hiring offensive coordinators. But to me, it's just I would make the exception for Belichick. I don't think I'd make it for Carroll, and who I think is even a year older than Belichick.
Yeah, and he's been, well-groomed, well-traveled with the Patriots, the Jets, with USC, with Seattle. Certainly a lot of respect for this guy, but I'm not hiring a defensive-minded coach, and if I was, Belichick would be one, and then to a lesser extent for me, Mike Vrabel would be the second guy. But I don't want to have a defensive coach here in Jacksonville, and then if all of a sudden they really change things around and they solve Trevor Lawrence, and all of a sudden this offense becomes one of the most productive offenses in the NFL, well, you know what's going to happen. They're going to come snatch that offensive coordinator, and then you're going to have to redo it all over again with Trevor Lawrence and a new offensive scheme. So for that reason alone, I am hiring an offensive coach.
And I think that's a great point, too, because I don't think Trevor is ever going to graduate towards where it's his offense. Like Peyton Manning, even like Aaron Rodgers, as much as it's failed like lately, like they were cerebral enough. Like I think Drew Brees, the Sean Payton offense kind of became Drew Brees' offense. Right. He never got a chance to do it somewhere else, but I think he could have. But I don't think Trevor's ever going to get there in his career. I think he's always going to need an insightful mind as offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And so, yeah, that's a problem for me as well with the defensive-minded head coach. Is it's so hard to keep getting it right with your offensive coordinator hire.
Let me give you another name, and JJ, I want you to drop in here as well. John Gruden.
I don't think it would happen.
Neither do I, but it's a name that's being kicked around a little bit.
I would love it for the content and for us having to do, me producing 2 radio shows every day. That would be absolutely phenomenal. But I just think he's been out of the game for too long. At this point, it's probably, year 3 or 4?
At least year 3.
The other thing I would counter with is how good was he towards the end anyway?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
the Raiders, yeah.
Obviously he led Tampa Bay to a Super Bowl championship and was sort of the final piece, but that team was loaded.
Nearly got
Tony
there with
Dungy.
Oakland.
But it just feels like with Gruden, you're talking about career achievements that are a quarter century old, which for me is a little bit of they were awful with in the second round with he and Mayock.
Yeah.
And he is entertaining, certainly.
Controversial.
But I'd rather, he is. I would rather hire one of these newbie offensive minds that I think aren't ready to be head coaches, but I'd roll the dice on, a Liam Cohen, a Drew Petzing before I'd hire John Gruden.
Yeah, so he was 4-12. Sorry, Ballou. He was 4-12, 7-9, 8-8. Yeah. And then in 2021, he only had 3-2 before he had to resign. So very average. No winning seasons.
I'm a fan, but I don't know how this fan base would handle it. I don't know what the pushback would be like. I don't remember exactly what it is that he said with those emails that were found. I'd have to look it up again, but obviously it crossed several lines, and I just don't know how that would be received early on. I think regardless of where John Gruden ends up, that we've seen before that winning fixes everything. If you win, the story goes away. But if you don't win, then it's going to linger. And I just don't see Jacksonville as an organization that would pull the strings here on John Gruden.
I also don't think he'd be a very good personality fit with Trevor Lawrence. I don't think that they would mesh well. He's got all the verbiage, and I think that might be difficult for Trevor. And then the other thing I would say with this hire, I would expect Shad Khan to put the least amount of risk involved with this hire as he possibly can. And with John Gruden, I think from an ownership standpoint, they would be worried about even beyond the X's and O's. Like, is there what do we have to worry about? Is there going to be some scandal coming or something like that? So
he also, strikes me as somebody who doesn't want to piss off the other owners. And I feel like hiring John Gruden is going to piss off a few.
It very well could.
Yeah. Well, he's suing the league.
Yeah, and it'll definitely upset Goodell.
Right.
Some of the comments were towards him.
All right, let's get to a name then. If it's not Ben Johnson, and if Ethan Waugh picked up the phone right now and says, I need to get a hold of J.J. LaSelva, or if Trent Baalke says, I need to talk with Carline right now, and it's not off the record, I need a name. All right? One coach, not named Ben Johnson. Who do you believe the Jaguars should hire?
I would make a really strong pull for Mike Vrabel. As much as it goes against what I'd like to see, I just think when you look at Vrabel, he is young enough to be here for a 15-year run. He's 49 years old. He knows the division better than any candidate would from his days coaching the Titans. He knows what it takes as a player to win. Obviously, had an impressive 14-year career as a linebacker. He competed with the Steelers, obviously the Patriots, the Chiefs. Yes, like he has been in constant winning as a professional. And I really felt he got the most out of the Titans teams. I never really felt like Tennessee had incredible talent while he was there.
Certainly not a quarterback.
Yeah, and for him to be 54 and 45 and win a couple of playoff games in 6 seasons with the Titans, it's not perfect because you have to trust that he's going to find an offensive coordinator that is going to work well with Trevor Lawrence and fully develop him. But if I couldn't have Ben Johnson, and I will be devastated if Ben Johnson is not this higher. Yeah.
You've been in on him since week 3, whatever it was when you fired Peterson.
Right. So, I mean, I'm really hopeful it will be Ben Johnson. I think the everything is falling into place as you would want it. Like we talked about last week, earlier this week, you needed Cincinnati to get going. So Zach Taylor would be brought back. I think they've done enough to protect him and his status.
Which is good.
And now you're starting to see, like, Dallas may not come open now. So if this really becomes, the Giants, the Bears, the Jets, the Saints, and the Jags have by far the best job.
There's no doubt.
Yeah, and so if I can't get Ben Johnson, I would feel very good about handing the keys to Mike Vrabel and knowing that the toughness that this team is lacking and has lacked under Doug Peterson, that gets turned around. Like if Mike Vrabel is the coach, whenever this team sees the Houston Texans next year, whether it's week 1 or whether it's week 12, they're getting after C.J. Stroud.
Yeah. You don't think you're going to get a lot of, we need to clean that up in week 12 from Mike Vrabel?
Yeah, I think you're going to get some, some pounding the podium.
Right.
And I do think
be a
that
breath
that's
of fresh air for this city.
Yeah. Obviously, I think we all want offensive-minded coaches. But there is something to be said for, I don't know if Ben Johnson can lead men. I don't know if Ben Johnson, know how he would handle the situation like we saw where Trevor got cheap-shotted and Doug Peterson is hugging D'Amico Ryans after the game and then basically saying what a great program they run, while D'Amico Ryans and his general manager are saying the Jaguars overreacted.
It's an awful look.
With Mike Vrabel, that would not happen.
It wouldn't happen. Absolutely, it would not. And it did here. All right, so Hayes Carline says Mike Vrabel. Ben Johnson off the table, JJ. Who's the next head coach?
I love Vrabel, but if it was somebody besides those two, like imagine Ohio State loses and then they hire Vrabel, if they fire Day. Anything could happen. But I like, people are going to hate this, but I like Cliff Kingsbury. He's an offensive-minded guy. I think he would work well with Trevor. He's been a head coach before in the NFL. It wasn't exactly the greatest time ever in Arizona, but it also wasn't terrible. So he does have that experience that Johnson doesn't have. He's been great with Daniels in Washington. So, yeah, I think if it isn't Vrabel and it isn't Ben Johnson, Cliff Kingsbury to me isn't a terrible third choice.
No, it's not a bad name at all, and he's on that short list. All right, so Vrabel and Kingsbury, like both those selections there. I'm kind of between a rock and a hard place here because where I'm at is, to me, it's Ben Johnson or bust. But if not, it becomes another offensive coordinator, and we go through the litany of reasons as to why we don't know if it's going to work. I love the Joe Brady situation. I love what he did that 1 year at LSU, and just a historic season for the Bayou Bengals when they won a national championship with Joe Burrow and all those talented wide receivers. But again, it's the same old deal. All right, we talked about Brian Daboll 2 years ago. Now the Giants have lost 10 in a row. We don't know if Brian Daboll is a good head coach or he's just a coach right now stuck in mud because he doesn't have a quarterback. Coming here, you've got the quarterback. Is Joe Brady going to win the interview to the point where he can convince Shad Khan and whoever the general manager is, give me Trevor Lawrence, let me work with Trevor Lawrence? That is what has to happen here. You have to have a guy who is so excited to want to work with Trevor Lawrence. And the most difficult part of coaching, everyone plays hard, but it's playing extra hard. Can you get each and every one of your players to give you 110% each and every moment? Again, they're great at faking it, showing us that they work hard and play hard, but can you give that little extra? And you're going to be a coach that these guys are really going to want to play for. I think we're seeing less and less true player coaches nowadays in college and pro football.
Without a doubt. Let me ask you this, because we just saw them have another disappointing performance and they've lost 3 in a row. Could this be the year the Steelers move off of Mike Tomlin? And if they do, where does Mike Tomlin rank on your list?
Well, you got to put him there. And again, I'd like an offensive-minded guy, but sometimes there are exceptions to the rule. And he is a mark of consistency. He's never had a losing season. Now, unfortunately, he's got a little bit of the Marty Schottenheimer bug where he doesn't win enough games in January. He doesn't win playoff football games.
Right, because he won a Super Bowl really early there. But it's been now, how long was that? 13 years ago, probably?
I want to say they have 2 playoff wins in like the last 8 years.
Yeah, he's done nothing
I could be wrong.
lately. Yeah, and so, but that would be one where if Pittsburgh did make the mistake, in my opinion, of firing Tomlin, if I was Shad Khan, I would have my plane in Pittsburgh the day they made that move.
They haven't won a playoff game since 2016.
Wow.
When did they win the Super Bowl? 13? No, that was Seattle. It had to even be before then.
Against Arizona, right? Santonio Thomas. Got both feet in.
Santonio Holmes,
excuse me, both feet in. Santonio
that was
Thomas,
the James Harrison pick six.
Yeah, that was 2005. 2005.
Okay.
Wow. So Tomlin hasn't won the Super Bowl in 20 years?
Oh, sorry. 2008.
Oh. Okay, but still.
So against Arizona, yep.
You're still talking 16.
It's a long period of time.
It's amazing how long he's been there.
Any other head coach who gets fired? I mean, I don't see this organization being interested in Mike McCarthy.
No.
We already mentioned Brian Daboll. I mean, this could be a Belichick story all over again, getting fired in Cleveland. Who's to say that Brian Daboll is not a good coach? I know that doesn't excite anyone listening, but we still don't know. He hasn't had a QB.
What about like McDaniel in
That was
Miami?
the one that I was going to say. I think it would be interesting, but I don't think I would particularly want him. And he's fun, but there's a toughness element that he has not been able to instill in the Dolphins,
right.
And I would be worried about that here. Yeah. And again, that's part of this is it's a great point. I mean, I'm assuming Ben Johnson does all these things. Chances are he's not going to be able to do all these things. You're probably going to get the gifted offensive system, but are you going to get a coach that can get 53 guys rowing in the same direction and can instill toughness? Because that is sorely lacking here. I mean, that is something we probably don't talk enough about. And it's not to say the Jaguars, obviously those guys are tough men compared to average people walking the streets. Mm-hmm. But we're comparing their toughness to other NFL players. And in that realm, when you compare them to their colleagues, I think you can question their physical and mental toughness. I think that's fair based on a complete historic collapse last year and how they allowed one fumble in the season opener to completely derail them.
It's unbelievable. Going in, touchdown. Travis Etienne fumbled the football. Everything changed from that point on. I do want to salute all of the policemen and women out there listening. I know we have a bunch who do so on 1010 and 92.5 FM, including our great sheriff, TK Waters, who just sent me a text. How about Bruce Arians? 72 years of age. He just kind of, I guess, didn't get along anymore with Brady and went away. I just don't see. I don't think he has the fire in the tank anymore.
I love the suggestion because no one's talking about him. So, and Bruce Arians is one of the most gifted offensive minds that we've seen in the last quarter century in the league. But yeah, I would wonder what his, first off, I've heard nothing that he's trying to get back in. But
which means you'd have to throw money at him, which means is he really wanting to come back or just get paid?
So yeah, I mean, I
bring Leftwich over as the O coordinator.
If Arians was interested, certainly I would be interested in a conversation with him. But I would say that's a long shot.
Look how these names changed from the last search. Where are you, Eric Bieniemy? Where are you, Byron Leftwich?
Sure.
These were. They've been replaced by Joe Brady. They've been replaced by Liam Cohen. They've been replaced by Ben Johnson. But it's so quick how these names really change. And it's almost like you better strike when you're hot because you may not get that opportunity. Again, if I was to say to you right now, Eric Bieniemy, remember year after year after year after year, all of us talked about when is he going to get an opportunity. Eric Bieniemy is going to be a great future head coach. Well, he failed in Carolina, not all his fault, and he failed at UCLA. He's over his last two.
Yeah, it's a great point. Look at Bobby Slowick in Houston, who this time last year, it was Ben Johnson and Bobby Slowick were the two that you had to hire.
And look at how they've regressed now.
Yeah, and now Bobby Slowick's in danger of keeping his job in Houston.
They scored 2 points.
Yeah, I mean, and Stroud has been disappointing throughout the entire year. So you do have to wonder if Houston just sort of caught lightning in a bottle because no one was really expecting much of them. No one was really watching them. And then they got good, won a division, and people watched them this offseason, obviously extensively. And have they been figured out? Because they certainly haven't thrown any counterpunch yet. And, so a guy like Bobby Slowick, who was, right at the top, now he's not going to get an interview. I mean, not only that, he will be lucky to just keep the current job he has.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, it's great to have you with us. It is a Friday. We're heading into the weekend, a holiday weekend for you and yours. Again, we always ask you to have a great time, but please drive safe. He is Hayes Carline along with J.J. LaSelva. My name is Rick Ballou. Hey, we're getting some good things in on our text line. Please send them our way. 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Let's take it down the field and win it. It's a different kind of Sunday drive.
10th play of the drive here.
Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville brings you the drive of the game.
Here's the ball game
on 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Have you heard? Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet are aiming to sell 1,000 vehicles this December. How? I've told my team to take all reasonable offers. We won't lose your business over price. With thousands of cars, trucks, and SUVs on the ground, all priced to sell, we guarantee the most money for your trade and the easiest car buying experience ever. I promise we ain't leaving nothing on the table, but you've only got 1 week left. Visit Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. We're here to wow you.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Mia here. When it comes to roofing, whether it be shingles, metal, or most repairs, there is one name that has protected your home since 1999. Pro-Jax Roofing. Serving all of Northeast Florida, Mike and his guys have been repairing and replacing roofs for 25 years. Need insurance help? Mike's team can help. Raised in a military family, Mike provides great attention to detail with unparalleled quality and workmanship. They also have warranties, so you can have peace of mind. Call Mike today for a free estimate or online at projaxroofingfl.com.
Hi, this is Jeff Norman.
And I'm Mike Jones.
And we are the owners of Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning.
As we ring in the new year, we want to wish you all health, happiness, and success in 2025.
We're grateful for each of our customers, and we're here to keep things running smoothly for you. If you have any plumbing, septic, or AC issues, don't hesitate to reach out.
Our hardworking team is always ready to help, day or night. Happy New Year from all of us at Duck Duck Rooter.
Pre-Game Friday. Built by Dream Finders Homes. Homes built to fit your lifestyle on 1010XL.
When you're injured, you probably have more questions than answers, and all you really want is to feel better. This is Joe C., and I certainly can identify. Well, thanks to Rebound Rehab, I bounced back from a serious case of ankle tendonitis to feel pain-free. They can do the same for you. 8 locations across the First Coast and a team of physical therapists ready to help. From laser and radio pressure wave therapy to aquatic and massage therapy, they can offer real solutions to help you rebound. Log on, reboundrehab.com, and start your path back to pain-free life.
Mia here. Since 1982, Closets by Design has specialized in creating dream spaces for every budget. My designer, Frances, made the process so easy. She came to my house and designed a walk-in closet that's not only beautiful, but also incredibly functional for me and old Beau Valentine. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation at 800-293-3744. Hey, and if you mention Mia or Helmets and Heels, you'll qualify for free base molding. Call today or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Hey folks, Dave Binion with Zero Res. I asked my wife what she wants for Christmas, and she said the same thing she does every year. She wants a clean home full of family and friends. That means the carpets, the tile and grout, the large oriental rug in our family room, and the huge sectional sofa that everyone loves to hang out on all need a good Zero Res cleaning. Give Zero Res a call and get your carpets cleaned for only $49 a room, and get your tile and grout cleaned for 25% off. Zero Res spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Mia O'Brien is going to be the first woman president of the United States of America.
Catch me weekdays from noon to 2 on Helmets and Heels.
And she could run later this year even, and I would vote for her. All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota on 1010XL.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carlyon for MyBookie. While other books make promises, MyBookie delivers. This holiday season, they're stacking the deck in your favor with 12 days of Christmas now through the 31st, a festive lineup of can't-miss opportunities for bettors to cash in. Risk-free Thursdays, super boosts, and free bets. Weekly casino giveaways with hundreds of winners and thousands in cash prizes. All it takes is a 50-cent spin on BetSoft slots to enter. With the road to New Orleans, bowl games galore, and a Christmas Day sports feast featuring NFL action and an NBA doubleheader, this is your season to win. The 12 Days of Christmas event is live right now. Lock in today. Use my code 1010XL with your first deposit, and MyBookie will give you a little extra to start your holiday hot. MyBookie is offering a 50% deposit bonus for 1010XL listeners. Just sign up and use promo code 1010XL. There's a reason MyBookie has been the go-to for serious bettors for 10 years. Make your holiday season a jolly one with MyBookie.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
The Jaguars' final injury report has been released ahead of Sunday's matchup against the Tennessee Titans. Left tackle Walker Little is out with an ankle injury. Linebacker Ventrell Miller is also out with an ankle injury. And safety Darnell Savage has been ruled out with a concussion. Meanwhile, some notable injuries for the Titans. Running back Tony Pollard has been listed as questionable after he did not practice all week with an ankle injury. And the Titans will have a backup kicker on Sunday as Nick Folk has been ruled out with an abdomen injury. Jags-Titans, Sunday at 1 with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update. I'm Andrew Gibson.
1010 1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Ballou, Carline, LaSalva with you till 6 o'clock. Hackers back tonight, 6 to 8. And then next week, we'll all continue with our regular rotation, which will include yours truly, 6 to 8, beginning on Monday. Bad news here for the number one world-ranked golfer. Scotty Scheffler is going to be out 3 to 4 weeks with a hand injury. Apparently, he hit some broken glass while preparing Christmas dinner 2 days ago. So he is now already has withdrawn from the season opener at the Century, which will be played beginning on January 2nd in Kapalua. But this is a big break here, and I've always wondered about this to some extent for quarterbacks, but certainly Major League Baseball pitchers. Great guitarists. I mean, protecting your hands. I mean, if you're a surgeon, for crying out loud, that's probably more important than the other things that I mentioned.
Well,
but
I actually
a
knew
surgeon,
I knew a hand model, and he actually got his hands burnt on an iron one time backstage at the Today Show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that a Seinfeld?
Yes.
Episode?
His secret was no manual labor his entire life, right?
But we don't walk around. I mean, I play golf and do things like, but we don't walk around like worrying about protecting our hands. Imagine being a surgeon or a pitcher or a lead guitarist, or in this case, a golfer, where everything is your fingers and your thumbs and your hand placement and just the whole touch and feel of the game of golf.
Yeah, it's very, charming and down to earth that Scotty Scheffler helps out
with dinner
on Christmas Day. But my recommendation would be, Scotty, you have provided your family $60 million this year. Maybe just sit on the couch and enjoy.
Kick up your feet, bro.
Yeah, watch A Christmas Story.
I would love to know what he did. Like, was it cutting? Was it burnt?
It must have shattered because he had to remove glass fragments. The story says.
Okay.
So whatever he was, holding he must have dropped, or somebody dropped it near him, but it almost, to be this extreme, I would think would have to be something he was holding when it.
I want a full investigation here. We're talking about
there's a three-peat,
a felony here that he was, arrested.
Yeah, wouldn't be the first time.
I mean, the guy served time behind bars.
Yeah.
I don't want this to be another one of those.
This was a shiv.
Who am I thinking of? I don't want it to be one of these Dustin Johnson stories where he falls down these stairs.
Right. Gets hurt in the shower.
Okay.
Right.
After snorting 7 8-balls.
What is the weirdest? Because John Smoltz had a really weird one where he
with the iron.
Yes, he burnt himself while he was ironing his shirt that he was currently wearing.
Greatest one of all time,
and had to miss a start.
How about a guy who sneezed and threw his back out or something?
I remember one time there was a pitcher, maybe for the Giants, like a reliever. I can't remember his name, but he pulled his butt muscle, like his what do they call that? The gluteus maximus,
right?
And he did it. He didn't do it pitching. He did it off the field somehow.
Got to get a massage.
Yeah, but
Sammy Sosa strained his back ligaments in 2004 by sneezing.
Yes,
rendering him unable to play for 15 days. Oh my goodness, I did not know that one.
How do you ask for just a butt massage? Wouldn't that be kind of awkward?
I think it's part of the routine.
Yeah,
yeah.
They're professionals, Rick.
I know. I visit them all the time. Okay, I mean,
it does make you wonder though with this story about Scheffler. Like we are getting close to the players.
Yes,
I mean,
we are.
It's not like next week, but it's it is around the corner now, and it seems like he'll have plenty of time to get ready. But golf is he's such a extraordinary talent, and he's just 28, but it does make you wonder, like anything that throws off rhythm or causes a layoff in golf, you always have to be somewhat concerned because you just don't know if you're going to harness that kind of extreme power that he had prior to the injury. He'll probably be fine, but it does make you wonder.
Yeah, this article's kind of all over the place. I mean, it says 3 to 4 weeks, and they says, his manager states that he hopes to be back for the La Quinta, which will begin on January 16th in In California, quote, small glass fragments remained in the palm, which required surgery. All right. His manager, Blake Smith, said should be back to 100% in 3 to 4 weeks. But
yeah. Well, if that's the case, let's say he's 100% healthy by the end of January. That would still give him 6 weeks of ramp up before the Players' Championship.
Right.
So you'd like to think Scheffler will be in good form by the time
smaller
he
field
arrives.
this year, too. You see, they cut back on the field.
Oh,
yeah,
I did not see that.
Well,
So
we
they could
see
get
it.
the times in.
Yeah, we see it on Thursday and Friday where it gets kicked off to the next day. And so I want to say it was 156. And I believe that, JJ, you and I were talking about a couple of weeks ago. I think it's like 120 is a new number for the Players' Championship, which
that's significant.
Is really disappointing for those who are working hard to earn their PGA Tour card and cash a good check.
Wow, I had not seen that.
Yeah,
but
144 to 120.
Wow.
144 to 120. Okay.
I mean, but you think of guys like Craig Perks won this event is a guy that would have been in that group who would not have been able to be in the field.
Probably Freddie Funk.
Could be.
I'd have to
Stephen
look back
Ames
on him.
won it one year, and
Yes, he did.
and he may have been in that range. So that's quite a change for an event where everyone has a chance because it's not a bomber's course. So that is a substantial change. But I do understand what you're saying. It is frustrating when they can't get the Thursday round in, moving it to March. You just don't have as much daylight. And so it's a change that I think will benefit the fans, but that is interesting because that 121 to 145 at the Players' Championship potentially could be your champion,
no doubt. And we really amp up our golf coverage once the new year begins. I love the whole starting in Hawaii and West Coast swing, and then all of a sudden you get the Florida swing. I don't do as much during football season for obvious reasons, but we have a great golf audience, and I still think someone to battle him. Who is that next guy? Can you have any consistency? We wanted Phil Mickelson to rival Tiger. It never really happened. Are we going to get this again now, especially with some of the prominent players, top players over on the LIV Tour? Is there anyone right now that you can just point at and say, Thomas, you're the guy. You're going to be able to rival Scheffler for the next 2, 3, 4 years. Right now, I think that's in doubt.
I think it is too. Now, I will say this. While I can't think of a guy that springs to mind that I think can go toe-to-toe with Scheffler this season, who, by the way, is won the Jack Nicklaus Award as the PGA Tour Player of the Year for 3 straight seasons. So he has been dominant for a while now. But I will say this, like between like Hovland and Morikawa, and you go down the line, you mentioned Thomas, maybe does Spieth ever find his groove? Rory is obviously an excellent choice. It feels like maybe there's just so many guys that maybe one of them, Xander Schauffele is one that we're starting to see win majors finally, and can that catapult him? So
it's him versus the field.
It's I agree, but I will say that it does feel like it's deep enough that of those 8 to 10 guys that are right behind him, can 1 or 2 have career years in 24 and make things really interesting.
JJ said it's him against the field. He actually entered Tiger territory, gaming wise.
With his odds.
Right.
His odds against the field. I mean, no one thought that. I won't say no one, but it was kind of conventional thinking that it's not going to be anywhere near what Tiger did year after year after year when it's him against field. Scheffler entered that territory.
Oh, dude, he was
this
like
past
3 to 1. Like entering a tournament with 150 people. Like he was only 3 to 1 to win some of these. It was incredible. You weren't making any money, most of the time if you bet a guy like that. But
like Andre the Giant to win a battle royal.
Right. Well, I mean, he got arrested Friday morning and made the cut.
Yeah.
Then now he didn't play well the next day. But yeah, I mean, yeah,
he still was like top 10 in that.
Yeah, his mental toughness obviously is his physical skill. I mean, he's a total package, and that's why he doesn't need to be helping with Christmas dinner.
And it's
he needs
unorthodox.
to be watching TV and taking it easy.
I'm sure batting. I'm sure Little League coaches and high school and collegiate coaches went crazy when they were asked to examine the batting stance of Rod Carew, right? That's kind of the way I look at Scotty Scheffler, what he does with the way he moves
feet.
that back foot. And it's like, you can't teach it. I'm sure golf coaches are like, because kids admire the best, and I'm sure they're moving their feet and do it. Well, Scotty Scheffler does it, and I'm sure from a teaching standpoint, it's got to be just a disaster for any of those type of folks. But
before we break, I need to give you my favorite injury that I've been reading up on all of these injuries. So Padres pitcher Adam Eaton, he missed a start after stabbing himself in the stomach with a small knife while trying to cut the shrink wrap off of a DVD. It seems to be like a lot of baseball players.
Which Perez brother was it that got lost trying to find Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta, and he played for the Atlanta Braves? Okay, he wasn't a visiting pitcher.
That's something I would do.
Was it Pascual Perez?
Yeah, Pascual Perez got lost.
How about that? I've got no sense of direction.
That could happen to me. That type of
not,
stuff does happen to me.
Yeah.
But,
he missed a start in August of 1982 because he couldn't find the arena or stadium.
That's hilarious.
And he pitched for the team.
We had a
Home
couple.
team.
I mean, I remember one Sunday Chris Ivory was deactivated for the Jaguars because he had like a kind of like a private area kind of go a little sideways. And, so that was, but at the time they had just signed him as a free, as a free agent. And he might have been his third or fourth game here, and then all of a sudden, Chris Ivory not active today.
Yeah, that was back before the intranet, and he got rung up on like a $10 charge. But man, that's going to stick with him, unfortunately. For the no, was that Ivory?
I don't think so. I think
no.
You're thinking of someone way
Stacey
back then.
Matt.
Ivory was only a few years ago.
We're talking about Stacey Matt.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Ivory would have been like 2015, 26, probably somewhere in there.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't want to misrepresent. Let's get ready for our second hour. Why don't we do that? It's great to have you with us.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL. Uncover what you might have missed.
He's quick. He's got great hands. He finds the gap.
Tandy Foods Post-Game Monday.
And most importantly, he moves the chains.
Expert analysis of Sunday's game all day. Post-Game Monday. Brought to you by Dandy Foods on 1010XL.
Big Chief Tire offers affordable quality tires for every type of vehicle. Frank Frangie here. Whether you're looking for all-season tires, high-performance options, or something more budget-friendly, Big Chief has the perfect set to keep you rolling. Their expert technicians ensure your tires are installed quickly and safely so you can drive with confidence. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule your appointment and check out their unbeatable tire deals today. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Get off the ladder and put on the helmet with Gutter Helmet of North Florida. We are family owned and manufactured locally. Cleaning your gutters is a dangerous and dirty job. That's why with Gutter Helmet, you'll never clean your gutters again. Water goes in your gutters while trash and debris go on the ground. It won't collect like filters do. Gutter Helmet protects. Call now for 10% off and a free gutter cleaning and tune-up with your purchase of Gutter Helmet. Call 904-762-7779.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank NA, member FDIC.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics, 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Sahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
The 1010XL restaurant of the day.
Moss Fire Grill in Riverside. Happy hour 3 to 7 with drafts, margaritas, and handcrafted bites starting at only $5. Moss Fire Grill.
See you on the rooftop.
All right, here we go.
Former Former Jaguars QB David Garrard joins Jaguars Today to talk Jags.
All right, guys.
Mondays on 1010XL.
Let's go, Googans. Let's go, Googans.
Brought to you by WaterboyJax.com.
What is that?
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Atlantic Self-Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self-Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving? They can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
If you're looking for custom metalwork, look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. Whether it's custom railing, shade structures, or custom entry gates, their expert team controls the turnkey process. From CAD design and raw metal to powder-coated finish and expert installation. When you choose Superior Fence and Rail for your custom metal project, you get a project that's, well, superior. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail today.
Hacker here, and for the first time in nearly 20 years, I finally get to have a different resolution. Like most of you, mine was always to lose weight. I'd try something for a few weeks, maybe lose a pound or two, and then give up. Well, I tried. Starting the new year with Awaken 180 isn't a try. It's a sure thing. And why will you stick with it? Because instead of a pound or two, you'll see results right out of the gate. We all need motivation. After my first 3 weeks with Awaken 180, I was already down 30 pounds. Granted, I had a lot of weight to lose, but look at Dempsey, look at Matt Hayes. Those guys had results out of the gate too. Dempsey dropped 9 pounds his first week, Matt dropped 12 pounds. Regardless of the weight you need to drop, seeing those fast results will motivate you to reach your goal. Guys, girls, losing weight regardless of how many times you've tried is possible with Awaken 180. Make the sure bet and make 2025 the last time losing weight is your New Year's resolution. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Our most popular meat combo is ready to grill this season. Pounds and pounds of marinated steak tips and chicken, fresh ground beef, and homemade sausage. Just ask for the sampler combo.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Southern Oak Insurance. At the conclusion of the Birmingham Bowl featuring Georgia Tech and Vanderbilt on 1010 a.m., we'll take you to Orlando where the Magic look to get back in the win column as they prepare to do battle against the New York Knicks. The Magic are coming off a last-second defeat against the Miami Heat last night. We'll have a full Saturday college football slate for you beginning at 11 a.m. as UConn and North Carolina face off in the Fenway Bowl. We'll also showcase the New Mexico Bowl as TCU goes toe-to-toe against Louisiana, as well as the Independence Bowl. After falling in non-conference play to number 7 Florida, UNF men's basketball looks to shake off that defeat in their league play opener against Austin Peay on January 2nd. Right now, 68 degrees at 5 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Congratulations to Navy, a 10-win season. Knocked off Oklahoma today, 21-20. Oklahoma went for 2 at the Armed Forces Bowl and did not get it. So Navy, a double-digit year for victories. They go 10-3. How about that? Ballou, Carline, and J.J. LaSelva with you up until 6 o'clock. We have a thriller going on right now at the Birmingham Bowl. Vanderbilt and Georgia Tech. The Doors up 14-10.5. Do anything for you?
Well, 2 very tough teams. I have a lot of respect for both how Vanderbilt and Georgia Tech handled their seasons this year.
Big wins this year.
Yeah, I mean,
Both
they
programs.
really did. I mean, and they're just tough. They're just kind of both throwbacks. They're just physical, ground game. Pavi, obviously, for Vandy has been an incredible playmaker. But they also go for it at the right opportunity. When they have a chance to do something special, they don't sit on it. Like how Vanderbilt handled the Alabama game was a masterpiece. I mean, they kept throwing, they stayed aggressive, and they pulled off certainly, I think, the biggest upset that we saw in college football this year, and one of the biggest victories they've had in their program's history.
No doubt. Vanderbilt, a huge win there against Alabama. Georgia Tech had some big wins this year as well, including knocking off Miami for a second consecutive season.
Yeah.
They really should. Those 8 overtimes, I thought, several calls favored Georgia late in that matchup. We got some more of that yesterday.
6, which this is it, right, for this playoff or for this overtime format. Like, there's no way they keep it. It's crap.
2-point conversion.
It's after the second overtime, after you score, you have to go for 2. And then starting in the third, which isn't even that long, like 2 overtimes in college is pretty quick. Then you got to start doing 2-point conversions back and forth. And not only that, you have to walk to the other end of the field after each overtime. It's terrible, man. Has to be changed. They did it to quick, make things faster and make sure these games don't go on forever, but it's done the opposite.
Actually, had some really good games yesterday. Arkansas State, 38-31 over Bowling Green. Kansas State knocked off Rutgers 44-41. Then that game that went 6 overtimes, Toledo hung on 48-46. They rushed the field 3 times, and then they had to review it, go back and do it all over again, and there was a defensive penalty. I think it was an offsides call, so it was just one after another. We got a pretty entertaining night tonight, and then tomorrow is just a masterful day for football fans in both the NFL and the collegiate variety. But, coming up tonight, Texas Tech and Arkansas. That's going to be at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl in Memphis. That'll be at 7 o'clock. At 8 o'clock tonight, you got Syracuse and Washington State. John Mateer, obviously out as he made his way to, where did he go? It was Miami, Oklahoma. That's right, along with his position coach, offensive coordinator. Pretty good game tonight, USC and Texas A&M. That'll be at 10:30 out in Las Vegas. So that is what is planned. Anything excite you about any of these ball games?
Will you make it to the end of USC, Texas A&M?
I may.
Yeah?
It's like 1:30.
I definitely will not.
I may
not make kickoff of USC, Texas A&M.
Yeah, I'm a late night reader. I'm up reading and doing some things, but I don't know if I'll give that my undivided attention. It probably depends on how the game is going.
If I was going to watch one of the 3 that you mentioned, I would watch USC, Texas A&M, because Lincoln Riley is so puzzling to me why they have not been able to get off the ground there. I mean, I really respect him as an offensive guru, and he did a great job at Oklahoma, and I just thought he'd go to USC and roll out of bed and win 11 games every year, and I'm stunned that it has been such a struggle. You hear about personality clashes, that they don't like him there, and he doesn't like them, and is a divorce imminent, and to see them struggle 6-6, first year in the Big Ten, while Oregon just sailed right through. I'm just shocked by that. And then Texas A&M's interesting because they're sort of they're just always looking for legitimacy, and not that this gives it to them, but at 8-4, like you can tell they're reloading for another offseason of huge spending.
Got a new coach.
I mean, so, from an SEC perspective, it'll kind of be interesting to see how the Aggies fare tonight in a game I would think they would win. But it's more just what's the end game for Lincoln Riley and USC?
Well, that becomes very, very intriguing because, to me, it would all come down to, is there another job that could open? I mean, we've talked about Ryan Day. I think winning last week in a blowout fashion, I think he's safe regardless of what happens the rest of the way. But I guess you could make the point that if they really get blown out and it's a disappointment, that there could be a large clatter for Mike Vrabel. Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame, there's a name that we see that gets kind of lumped in with some of these NFL jobs, although we've never heard anything come out of the mouth of Freeman as to whether or not there's interest. Then you look at Lincoln Riley, he just might say, may pull a Chip Kelly and just say, listen, I don't want to be here anymore. That also be a huge job.
Yeah, if you were Shad Khan and 41-year-old Lincoln Riley called you and said, I'd be interested if you have a head coaching opportunity, would you talk to him?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm a little concerned about is how fast his playbook is.
Yeah.
He, especially at Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at their drives, they go like 75 yards on 4 plays, 5 plays, take a minute 21 off the clock.
Right.
You can't realistically play that style in the NFL.
Yeah, but I'd love to see it. I mean, I in a second, if I was Shad Khan and Lincoln Riley called, I would be willing to.
That thing's going to end. Yeah, I don't know if it ends. I don't know if it ends here tonight or tomorrow, but you feel like it's maybe got 1 year left, if that.
Here's the problem, though, and Rick brings it up all the time. Shad doesn't know who Lincoln Riley is. Like, there's no freaking way on this earth he knows who Lincoln Riley. He needs somebody who's not, bulky.
That is true. We don't know who his inner circle is.
I'd bet my life that he doesn't know who that is.
Get him on the Kismet. Get him some hors d'oeuvres, some of those little finger sandwiches, right? And talk to him about this. It is what it's all about. He can't screw this one up. He can't. And unfortunately, you look at his resume, he has not had a great hire at general manager. He has not had a great hire as a coach. Outside of, everything coming together in year one with Peterson and everything coming together that year with Doug Marrone, I mean, that's really been the exception to the rule.
Yeah, Lincoln Riley, it's interesting with the Jaguars, and JJ certainly bring up a great point, but it's almost like Lincoln Riley, there would be more of a chance if Shad kept Trent Baalke, because Lincoln probably wouldn't be overly bothered by that. I just think he wants to coach and not deal with NIL and things like that.
Defense.
So correct. So I could actually see a coach like Lincoln Riley probably not being as bothered by Shad not firing Trent Baalke.
Interesting.
Is some of the NFL coordinators and retreads that are basically not going to look at the Jaguars.
I agree with that.
Trent Baalke is still employed here.
Yeah. It's a fair point. I never really gave it much consideration, but yeah, does he become a hire based on that? And I think that's still an equation here that people don't want to realistically look at. I think it still could happen. I think it's still really part of the plan. It's going to be fascinating. We have a game here Sunday, and then we return to work on Monday, and then the following week, who knows? We're going to arrive here in 8 days. Actually, make that, 10 days. What is it going to be like? Is it going to be completely blown up, and this thing starts all over again? Or is this organization going to remain what I think is half pregnant by saying goodbye to Doug Peterson and the coaching staff, but keeping the front office intact?
Yeah, I mean, by the time that our shows are airing that Monday, if there has not been a move made, I really, really feel sorry for the Jaguar fans. Because if it hasn't happened by Monday afternoon of Black Monday here on the East Coast.
Do you remember what it was like the Monday after Detroit?
Yeah.
Where we were just all
refreshing Twitter.
Just sitting around waiting to be told something, and nothing happened.
No. I mean, well, why would you do something? It was just 52-6. I mean, guys are playing hard out there.
I mean,
they only scored on every single drive of the game.
I mean, our listeners are like, listen, I didn't want anything for Christmas this year. All I wanted was a flat-out change the entire thing over. And, yeah, I get asked all the time, as I know you do, no matter where I go, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'd be lying to you if I told you. I think Peterson and the staff gets fired. I think Balky hangs on to his job. You disagree.
Yeah, I think it's a clean sweep. And I feel confident that it will be. But you don't know until you see it. You do wonder because of what you've documented at great length and in great detail. He does not have a group of football advisors. So Trent Baalke is his advisor when it comes to football. So for Shad to fire his general manager, he literally is firing his football brain trust.
I know he is. Yeah.
And, I think for him that is unsettling. But at this point, there's just no way around it. Again, to me, it all comes back to, obviously it's the right football decision to make, but something that should absolutely resonate with Shad is the business decision the consequences of that business decision. If he keeps Trent Baalke, I don't think you will. I just don't. But now that the stadium deal is done and fans don't have to worry about that they know the franchise is going to be here for the next quarter century at a minimum, I think now they have the license to say, I'm not coming. I don't have to put on a show anymore. I don't have to try and woo you as an owner to please stay in my city. You've signed the deal. The city has signed the deal. The owners have approved the deal. We know we're going to have the Jaguars here in Jacksonville for the next 25 years. I'm out. Yeah. If this is how you're going to handle your business, I am out as a customer until I see changes.
Sunday. Yeah,
until I see winning or I see changes.
Sunday, there could be 35,000.
I'll be shocked if it's that
at this game.
I mean, they'll announce 63,000 in terms of the tickets distributed,
right,
but in terms of people that actually come through the turnstile,
half that.
I'll be shocked if it's 35,000. And because Nashville, Tennessee doesn't have any fans.
It's a NASCAR town.
Yeah, so I mean, you're not going to get that road bump that you might from some of the other brands in this league. I honestly, and with the weather being bad, it may be one of the worst crowds for a football game we've seen in a decade here.
I don't like seeing people lose their job. I don't. I'm sensitive to that. And I'm sure there's a lot of hardworking people. But the other part of this, too, is that they've got to go. I mean, you can't tell us that. I mean, Ethan Waugh may be the best football man here in the 904. But this building and this football team has become way too comfortable with losing, and you have to get rid of everyone. And, again, there's some good people over there who probably individually have done enough to keep their job. But I just think you have to roll out the stink of losing and bring in a totally new front office, a totally new coaching staff, a totally new scouting staff, which I guess you can tie into the front office as well. And, hey, Shad Khan's resume says that's not going to happen. There's going to be people that are going to be still employed regardless of who comes in.
Yeah, and maybe, hopefully, he'll have learned from those mistakes. I do think Shad is been good at that self-reflection. And I think now that will lead to him saying, I need to just, everybody's got to go. I haven't cleaned house since basically when he first became owner. He was like a year in when he fired Gene Smith and Mike Mularkey all in one fell swoop.
And that was an awful football team.
Yeah, and
maybe the worst team we've ever seen.
Yeah, and I think now he will lean on his experiences where the half measures didn't really work, and he will say, as much as it's going to pain him, because he's going to have to open up his calendar more than he probably would like with all of his other interests, but he's going to have to block out basically the month of January. And it's going to have like 3 words written on his calendar, fix the Jaguars. And nothing else is really going to be able to occupy much of his time, because it's for an owner to go hire a general manager. The general manager can hire the coach, and Schott doesn't have to be overly involved in that. He has to be involved, but not overly involved. But for the GM, that's 100% on ownership to make that hire and vet those candidates.
We got much more to do with you tonight till 6 o'clock. Then Hacker Nation will join you. He is Hayes Carline. I am Rick Ballou, JJ LaSalva. Again, with you till 6.
Sometimes it's a stunning performance.
3 touchdowns tonight.
Sometimes it's the guy who gets the job done.
He doesn't take a play off.
Listen from a Universal Roof and Contracting Offensive Player of the Game.
He is a difference maker now.
On 1010XL.
It's holiday season, and Nimnick Buick GMC is here for you. Whether you're making memories on the road or continuing family traditions right here in Jacksonville, you can always count on us, because there's nobody but Nimnick. Now look, if you're looking for a better used car shopping experience, you'll find it at Nimnick Buick GMC, Jacksonville's only Car Bravo certified dealership. And with Car Bravo at Nimnick, you'll get transparent pricing, the best value for your trade, and peace of mind. Now is the time to shop certified used vehicles and buy with confidence. What kind of models are you getting? Honda, Toyota, Kia, Mazda, Ford. That's right, all makes, all models. And trading in your old vehicle, don't forget who gives you top dollar for your trade. Nobody but Nimnick. So shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. It's holiday season, and there's never a better time to buy from Nimnick. Who takes care of you? Nobody but Nimnick.
This is Josh Woolsey with Woolsey Morecambe. Woolsey Morecambe is your MVP in the legal game. Our team of skilled attorneys tackle personal injury cases with compassion and expertise. With fumbles like a car or truck accident, we're here to seek the compensation you deserve. Right here in Jacksonville, we've successfully won over $100 million and earned a championship-worthy record. When it's game time, you want a team that plays to win. Contact Woolsey Morecambe at 1-800-WOOLSEY. Offices, Jacksonville.
Hey, Florida drivers, the holiday season is upon us. When celebrating, always plan ahead and know all your options. If you drink, don't get behind the wheel. Instead, designate a sober driver or catch a ride service. And if you are the designated sober driver, commit to staying sober. Besides, a DUI could cost you $10,000. Not exactly the best gift you could give yourself. Celebrate responsibly and remember to drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Huddle up this season at Hurricane Grill and Wings, where every day is game day. Enjoy their famous wings, new cocktails, and happy hour deals at the perfect spot to catch all the football action. Escape the ordinary. HurricaneWings.com.
You sailed beyond the horizon in search of an island scrubbed from every map. You battled krakens. You navigated through storms. Your spade struck the lid of a long-lost treasure chest, while you cooked up a lasagna. There's more to imagine when you listen.
Yarr.
Discover best-selling adventure stories on Audible.
Pre-Game Friday, built by Dream Finders Homes on 1010XL.
Help fight skin cancer by playing golf at the Hit 'em Straight Golf Tournament December 30th at Queens Harbor for a day of food and fun while raising money for the Melanoma Research Foundation. To sign up, call 904-507-1401.
Open enrollment is here, so it's time to secure health coverage for your family. Whether you need Affordable Care Act plans, dental, or Medicare, visit one of the Florida Blue pop-up enrollment tents near you. They make the process easy and stress-free, with medical and dental insurance you can count on. Plus, listen to this. Based on eligibility, many people pay absolutely nothing for coverage. Find a pop-up tent in the Rose parking lot on Beach Boulevard near Southside, and at Night of Wonders at the Orange Park Mall. Here's a reminder for Florida Blue members. You can access Sanitas Medical Center with 3 locations around town offering primary care, walk-in services, an on-site pharmacy, and mental health support. 3 Sanitas Medical Centers and 2 convenient Florida Blue pop-up enrollment sites combined for a winning team in Northeast Florida insurance coverage.
Sometimes you agree with him, sometimes you don't.
On the runway, I'm coming in hot.
CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco joins the Frangie Show Friday afternoons on 1010XL. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carlyon for MyBookie. While other books make promises, MyBookie delivers. This holiday season, they're stacking the deck in your favor with 12 days of Christmas now through the 31st, a festive lineup of can't-miss opportunities for bettors to cash in. Risk-free Thursdays, super boosts, and free bets. Weekly casino giveaways with hundreds of winners and thousands in cash prizes. All it takes is a 50-cent spin on BetSoft slots to enter. With the road to New Orleans, bowl games galore, and a Christmas Day sports feast featuring NFL action and an NBA doubleheader, this is your season to win. The 12 Days of Christmas event is live right now. Lock in today. Use my code 1010XL with your first deposit, and MyBookie will give you a little extra to start your holiday hot. MyBookie is offering a 50% deposit bonus for 1010XL listeners. Just sign up and use promo code 1010XL. There's a reason MyBookie has been the go-to for serious bettors for 10 years. Make your holiday season a jolly one with MyBookie.
If you suffer from constant burning, tingling, or numbness in your hands or feet, it could be a serious condition called neuropathy. I'm Dr. Nathan Riddle, DC with Riddle Wellness in Ponte Vedra. Neuropathy is treatable, and we have seen great results by using state-of-the-art, non-invasive therapies to target damaged nerves, reduce symptoms, and improve nerve function. Call 904-395-5598 to schedule your free consultation today and learn how you can live pain-free. Call 904-395-5598.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Rick Ballou, Hayes Carline, JJ LaSalva, taking you into the weekend. A football all over the place, both college and pro. Went to the Bob Dylan movie.
How was it?
On Christmas Day. It was very good. I'm not going to talk about it. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but I'll give it an absolute thumbs up.
Awesome.
Very good. Not
you said
a
it's a slice of his life?
Yeah,
not
it is.
Like the whole thing.
It shows when he arrives from New York with $20 and a pack of smokes, carrying his guitar, and I really loved it. His involvement with Joan Baez and Peter Seeger, the great folk legend who wrote "Turn, Turn, Turn," that the Byrds made such a into such a blockbuster hit. But it was really cool to see the transition. It takes you through about a 5-year period from 1961 through 1965, and it ends up in Newport, Rhode Island, which was really a major turning point in the career for Bob Dylan. But I don't want to get into any more of the specifics because I don't want to ruin it. But I will tell you that the kid who played Dylan, is it Chalamet?
Yes,
or
something like that. Yeah.
What a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
I mean, he really nailed Bob Dylan. And we talked about last week, actors who sing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he sang all of these parts. He did a really good job.
Nice. I'm looking forward to watching it.
Good movie.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
And I made the mistake of, and I do this all the time, and I don't know why I do it. You know when you do something and you know it's going to be wrong, it's going to have a bad effect, but you do it anyway, and it's part of my addictive personality. But I ate one of those oversized, huge pans or buckets of popcorn.
Yeah. Kills your stomach.
And it's so good. Mm-hmm. It's so greasy and buttery and salty, and it's just the worst. And it goes right to the pit of your stomach, but you can't stop eating it. It's like once you start, you just can't.
Well, it's also $60.
Yeah. Well, you got to get popcorn at the movie theater. I mean,
that smell when you walk in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's cinnamon.
Yeah.
Because that's the stuff that sticks to the bottom of the floor. Is
now,
all the grease.
Did you get like a beer? Most movie theaters nowadays, they have alcohol, which is very different from me as a teenager sneaking in beers.
No,
with my buddies.
I actually did not. I think I went hard on Friday. All these days are together. New Year, Christmas Eve at the Blue Crab House. So I know
you shut that place down.
Right. On Christmas Day was the one day, because I played golf yesterday and had some cocktails. No, I didn't on Christmas.
Yeah.
You? Good day? Good Christmas?
Yeah, it was fantastic. Had a great time with the family, and everybody's doing wonderful. And Yeah, it was perfect.
A perfect Christmas is pretty cool. I feel bad for my dad.
What happened?
He wanted to get him here. He didn't want to come here. He's got his own routine, his friends, but I get a call early, and it's like, I can't get Netflix. I don't know how to do it. And I'm like,
Lord.
it's just so disappointing.
Yeah.
That you put these NFL games, and I know through the younger listeners, it's get with it.
Right.
Get with the times. Well, when you're 87 years of age, you don't want to have to get with the times.
Correct.
You don't mind getting up, actually turning the television set to get the game on.
Right.
But when you have to stream with passwords and all this stuff, some people just don't get it.
Without a doubt. It's the same. My parents are still with us. Gene's parents are still alive, and we probably, I don't know, once a week have some sort of a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, Gene usually handles it, but of a tech issue, and I'm not great with it either. I can only imagine how bad, if I live to be that old, how bad I'll be with the stuff that'll be coming in the next few decades.
Yeah, I'm terrible with that stuff.
It averaged 25 million viewers.
And the broadcast was fantastic.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I mean,
JJ Watt and
well, I just meant even the picture clarity. I thought they must have used IMAX cameras for this or something
Looks spectacular
because it was really, I thought, shocking how better their picture quality was for the NFL than anything else that I've seen on TV.
It's good to see Kay Adams again. I haven't seen her in a while.
She's sensational.
She should have that job.
Yes.
She should take over.
Without a doubt.
One of those networks. She's so good. And I don't find myself watching that morning show anymore on the NFL
I know.
Network.
Yeah, it really.
When she left and Nate Burleson left, you really took a lot with you.
Yeah. Yeah. You just never know about chemistry. When you disrupt it, you don't know how the next incarnation is going to work. And I'm with you. I kind of lost my interest in Good Morning Football when Kay Adams left. And, but it was good seeing her. They had a, obviously they invested a lot of money. They had
the Beyonce show. I mean, how much money did they have to pay for that?
$60 million, I think. I heard.
They actually came out with it. 60.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
they wanted it to feel like you were watching the Super Bowl.
It was up there.
And yeah, I mean, I would say from a technical standpoint, they checked a lot of the boxes. So it was really good to see after how bad the Tyson fight
I didn't have any streaming issues whatsoever at the house I was at.
And it didn't seem like on social media anybody was overly having issues. There were shockingly even some positive comments.
And we got a text where he says the Netflix numbers were down 20% from last year's CBS games. Well, yeah, duh.
Yeah, right.
That's just basic cable. Way less people. We just said Ballou. His dad doesn't have that. But they don't care.
Mm-hmm.
This is the future.
Got to roll with those punches.
It's happening.
Boy, we lost a sportscasting giant moments ago. Greg Gumbel has passed at the age of 78.
Oh, wow.
I know JJ was telling us that during the break, and I finally pulled up the story. Not sure the reason why, but it just seems too soon. 78, I didn't have him pegged for that old. I would have guessed Greg Gumbel, even though he's been around forever, I would have guessed early 70s, not 78.
Yeah, obviously, what an incredible career. And, I had forgotten about this until JJ, gave us this breaking news. And it did remind me that during the NCAA tournament, Greg wasn't there. And they had to say, our thoughts are with Greg. They never really went into what he was dealing with, but it happened over the course of the tournament.
Yeah.
Because he's such a strong face of the broadcasting side of the NCAA tournament for so many years. So you just sort of, and then I just, tournament sort of came and went, and it just sort of, something I forgot about until hearing this news. And then it brought me back to that he obviously was going through something very serious in March. And so that's awful that he's lost his battle with whatever.
It was cancer.
Wow.
The family now has announced it was cancer. They didn't get into any of the specifics as to what type of cancer it was, but it takes him at the life of 78. His brother seemed to get off to a faster start. Brian Gumbel was a guy that I remember 50 plus years ago. It seemed like he got into it in the younger 20s, both sports related, and then he got into the entertainment industry, but Greg Gumbel's career really exploded at CBS, man. He was great with March Madness. He was great as an NFL play-by-play lead announcer. Do you remember the times where it was Greg Gumbel who was actually doing play-by-play, and Jim Nantz was the studio host?
Oh, wow.
Back at CBS.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, I mean, we're going back 20-some-odd years here now before, Nantz now has become the number one football play-by-play man in arguably all of the NFL, but certainly with CBS. But there was a point where it was Nantz who was the studio guy.
Interesting. Did Gumbel have a regular color guy with him in the booth, or did that alternate?
Was it Phil Sims?
It kind of does seem like, now that you say it,
I think it was
Greg
Gumbel
Gumbel
and Phil Sims. I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah. And he was just very good. He was very sound, and he didn't make it about himself. He was there to, give you down and distance and let the color analyst, describe what was actually going on in game. But I just hate this. And he's gone today at the age of 78. What a Hall of Fame career, though, for Greg Gumbel.
Without a doubt.
Final thoughts coming up on the other side. 20 minutes away from 6 o'clock. Again, Hacker Nation. He will join you in 20 minutes.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
NFL Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen is the runaway betting favorite to win the MVP this season. Allen is at minus 500, while Lamar Jackson of the Baltimore Ravens is at plus 450. Saquon Barkley of the Philadelphia Eagles leads the NFL in rushing. He is plus 1,100. Jared Goff, quarterback of the Detroit Lions, plus 2,500. Joe Burrow is plus 6,600 to win the MVP. In the MVP race in the NBA, Denver's Nikola Jokic is plus 10 to win his fourth MVP honor. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of Oklahoma City plus 260. Giannis Antetokounmpo plus 500. And Luka Doncic of the Dallas Mavericks plus 825. Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at bsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Hi, this is Jeff Norman.
And I'm Mike Jones.
And we are the owners of Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning.
As we ring in the new year, we want to wish you all health, happiness, and success in 2025.
We're grateful for each of our customers, and we're here to keep things running smoothly for you. If you have any plumbing, septic, or AC issues, don't hesitate to reach out.
Our hardworking team is always ready to help, day or night. Happy New Year from all of us at Duck Duck Rooter.
Frank Franzi here for Stanley Pools. Pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988, so call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
We're H-A-P-P-Y, H-A-P-P-Y,
because happy Honda days are here. Everything is bigger. Bigger selection, bigger discounts, bigger trade-in values. Honda, quality, value, safety. Don't miss happy Honda days going on now at your local Honda dealer.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Bowl season is like a college football snow globe. And with 1010XL's Ultimate Bowl Challenge, you can decorate your life with $1,000 in jewelry from Beard's Diamonds if you win.
Let's do this.
Yeah. Get your picks in at 1010XL.com.
Monahan Jewelers is ending the year with up to 40% off the entire store. Special savings on designer brands and some items marked at 50 to 60% off. We've been adding new merchandise throughout the holidays, and with interest-free financing on any purchase, it's easy to get a beautiful piece for a low monthly payment. Certified diamonds and engagement rings are our specialty. Support your local family jeweler for 47 years. It's our end-of-the-year sale with up to 40% off our entire inventory and some items marked at 50 to 60% off. Visit Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Dave Benyon here with Zero Res. Did you know that Zero Res does an excellent job of cleaning commercial carpet? We clean hundreds of businesses and churches all over town. If your carpet is due for a good cleaning, give Zero Res a call. For 1 week only, December 26th through the 31st, we are offering 20% off on all commercial carpet cleaning. We will be glad to come do a free estimate. Give us a call and take advantage of this great deal during the Christmas break. That's 20% off on all commercial carpet cleaning. Zero Res spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
When it comes to towing products, your safety on the road is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Whether it's a heavy-duty tow hitch, trailer frame, wiring, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com to explore a range of products and schedule your installation. Cannons of Jacksonville, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
Experience the winning combination of style and performance with Renewal by Andersen, energy-efficient, custom-built replacement windows and doors. Right now, buy one window or patio door and get one 40% off. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. The first 50 customers get a free True Screen upgrade, but this offer expires December 31st. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com for details.
License number CGC 1527613.
Hey folks, Dave Benyon here with Zero Res. At Zero Res, we love rugs. We will treat your fine oriental rugs with the tender and loving care they deserve. Gerard, the Zero Res rug manager, is one of the few certified master rug cleaners in Florida. If you want your rugs cleaned with tender loving care, call Zero Res. Right now, get your rugs washed and we will give you 25% off. Zero Res, spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Zero Res. All right, gang, I'm just going to level with you. Prosser here. There are not the problems associated with selling your home that you might think that there would be. There are solutions for sure. Your home sold guaranteed or they will buy it. Who's they? It's Chad and Sandy Newman at chadandsandy.com. Call Chad and Sandy. They're the agents I would call to sell my home. And by the way, potential problems you think you may have, maybe you're worried about costly repairs or upgrades needed to sell your home. Maybe you're worried you won't sell your home for the price you need. Chad and Sandy deliver with a promise. They guarantee your home sold at an agreed upon price and deadline or they will buy it. We got proof. David and Heather, Fox Ridge and Orange Park. We wanted to move to Keystone Heights, closer to family and away from the city. We heard Chad and Sandy on the radio and called. It's all true. We got multiple offers and sold in 3 days for $15,000 above asking price. It's that simple. Go to chadandsandy.com or call 904-414-6200.
This season, check out our revamped website at southernsteerbutcher.com. Click on the Promotions tab, and our Jacksonville weekly grilling specials will hit you in the face like a hot route over the middle.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Former Jaguars linebacker Tom McManus has an opinion on a particular player on the Jaguars defense.
Josh Hines-Allen, come on, man. You've had a good year. He has. He's disappeared a couple times. Not disappeared, he just didn't hear his name much. He's had a lot of pressures. I know that. He's played good against the run, but he's got 7 sacks. And I'm sorry, but you weren't paid to get 7 sacks. You weren't paid elite money to just have 7 sacks. You're paid elite money to lead this team in sacks and to lead the league in sacks, or at least close to it, and you're nowhere near it.
Check out more of the Catching Up with Tommy Mack podcast on the 1010XL Jaguars YouTube channel with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update. I'm Andrew Gibson.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
As expected, Walker Little out for the remainder of the year. Cole Van Lanen in. He will be your starting left tackle. Also, a couple of other announcements today by Doug Peterson. Second-year linebacker Ventrell Miller won't go with the ankle. Darnell Savage still in the concussion protocol. He is out. So Dewey to get the start coming up on Sunday. We'll have it for you beginning with the pregame show, in-game, post-game. Give me a key as we wrap things up here. What are you looking for as we get closer to this thriller coming up Sunday at 1?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's at this time of year, it's 3-12 versus 3-12. It's like of these teams, which one is going to care? What's the energy going to be like on either side? I mean, it's if they both show up, it's as intense as it can be. In terms of how the game gets decided, I would think that looking at what the Titans should have won the first meeting. Brian Callahan has done a terrible job with them, and he's one of these guys that never can settle for a field goal. They should have won the game 12-10. Will Levis really struggled to see things. I think Mason Rudolph will see the field better than Levis. He doesn't have the talent Levis has, and remarkably, their passer numbers are identical. I've never seen anything like this. Levis is 63.7%, 12 touchdowns, 12 picks, 79.8 passer rating. Bad numbers. Mason Rudolph is 63.8%, 8 touchdowns, 8 picks, 79.8 passer rating. I mean, it's so they basically have been the same guy, but they get there in different ways. So, I mean, you'd like to think the Jaguar defense can slow Tennessee down again, but with a veteran like Mason Rudolph, it'll help that Wingard's back there from a communication and just not blowing the coverage assignment. But I would think that's a key because Mason Rudolph, if he's able to throw some some explosives to Ridley, he has formed a good bond with Chigakwanko, their young tight end there. So I think they can frustrate the Jaguars a little bit. And so I mean, it's probably 16-13 kind of game. But that would be it for me. Like Mason Rudolph at least has the veteran moxie where he may be able to diagnose what the Jaguars want to do. So if they can confuse him, if the Jaguars can just not self-destruct, then they should win this game. But, I thought they'd beat the Raiders too.
I think it'll come down to who has the most takeaways in this game. I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game. I think it's going to be an ugly football game. That was the case a few weeks back when Jacksonville won it 10-6. Calvin Ridley makes his return. I'm wondering if there's ever been now in 2 years a worse percentage targets to receptions than what Calvin Ridley has done in 2023 and 2024. Last year, he was 76 for 136. This year, it's even worse. 56 for 109. He's nearly at 50% this year.
Awful.
It would take a little bit of work here, and I'm going to have it ready for Monday's show, okay? But off the top of your head, can you think of a worse percentage receptions to targets from an NFL wide receiver?
I can't. That's unheard of.
Yeah, absolutely nuts. All right, have a great weekend. JJ, have a good one.
Thank you.
You as well, Hayes. I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, that was fun.
Frank will be back on Monday. My name is Rick Ballou. I'll return to my regularly scheduled program, which will be 6 until 8. Hacker Nation is up right now. We'll see you all at the bank Sunday. All the coverage right here on your home of the Jaguars.